Right. We're live. 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 Hey guys, Old Man G here, back again. Sorry about that, guys. With another Red Devils to You Live podcast. I'm joined with by Tom and Shawnee and Case. I will be coming on in a second. 2 seconds, everybody.
Apologies, everybody, if you're using earphones.
Technical glitches. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Oh my.
Who's in? Have we got the normal lot? Let me have a look.
Right, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. Technical difficulties, but we're back. Okay. So this is Old Man G here. I'm joined by Tom, Shawnee, and KSI, who's coming in from Skype, and we're going to be having it's going to be a brief show, but we're going to be talking about race review in the London Derby. We're going to be talking about the Europa League and Champions League draw, and then we're also going to be talking about the top four races as well. So let's just get straight into it. Let's get straight into it. And apologies for those technical issues. 2 seconds. There we go. The London Derby. Jose Mourinho, man. Jose Mourinho did a number on Arteta, and came out with a win, it seemed. And a lot of people were saying that Mourinho was obviously going to lose this. Spurs weren't going to be. They weren't going to be in the race for things, but they came out on top. So does this mean that Joe? And I did a show, and please check it out. I did a show, basically. Shout out to Rasmus. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it, buddy. Does this kind of mean that? And I did a show with actually a Spursy podcast, and please check that out. That does this win show that Mourinho can potentially be a successor to Spurs? But I want to really focus on the London Derby with what it means for Arsenal and Spurs as a whole. So before we get into it, Tom, what are your thoughts on the London Derby and what this means for Spurs and Arsenal?
Well, obviously with Tottenham, it's a massive boost for them getting a win over the local rivals in Arsenal. I think I don't particularly think both sides played amazingly. I think there was strengths and weaknesses to both sides. I think Tottenham defensively looked quite okay, but in terms of attack, yeah, they did get the 2 goals, but one of them was a mistake. One of them was from a set piece that was unorganised by the opposition. So it was really from two mistakes, really, that they got the 2 goals. In terms of Arsenal, their goal, I'll admit that I thought that was an absolute worldie of a goal from Lacazette. Like, wow. As soon as I saw that going, I thought, wow, what a goal that is. And especially at such an occasion of the London Derby, North London Derby, one of the biggest derbies in English football. And yeah, but in terms of like the performance of both teams, like I've said, I wasn't really impressed by either team. It was more individuals than a team that impressed me, if I'm brutally honest. I think in terms of Jose Mourinho, I think in recent weeks he's found it hard to motivate his players because he's obviously had his disputes about referees' decisions and VAR and that. So he's found it hard to motivate his players with confidence because of going off of bad results as well. But in terms of Jose, it's a massive win for him, massive win for Spurs, the fan base. They've not exactly had an amazing time of it recently. And I think in terms of Arsenal's fan base, they'll be absolutely buzzing off of that. And going into the upcoming fixtures, obviously they want to try and nail down at least a European place, maybe not a Champions League place, but a European place at least. And obviously try and finish above the rivals in Arsenal. But with Arsenal, I don't particularly think Arsenal. I think it's just the defensive frailties from Arsenal that let them down it's the same thing again. Kolasinac, as a defender, you need to play that ball straight to feet, not play it as your centre back's going to run onto it. It's just schoolboy errors really. That cost Arsenal the game, because I think that game was really in their hands at the time. And in terms of like tactics and stuff, I think both teams, you could see what the tactic was. Arteta was, we're going in this full throttle, and we'll try and get a couple of goals and then see the game out. Mourinho, it was more, let's play a bit more compact and try and force our opponents into making mistakes, which obviously Arsenal made the mistakes and Tottenham just punished them. And but yeah, I think it's a massive win for Tottenham, massive blow for Arsenal. But I think Arsenal got a tricky game coming up against Liverpool. It's going to be a hard game to try and bounce back from. But if Arsenal play to their strengths and don't show as much weakness to Liverpool, then they might get a result out of it.
Fair enough. Shawnee, what are your thoughts on the London derby?
Yeah, I completely agree. It was a fantastic goal by Lacazette, and that was literally the highlight of the entire game. Everything else was just a snooze fest, really. To me, anyway. And I only watched the highlights, and it was 3 minutes that I'll never get back. But it was still. I guess you can say that both of them. You could see that they were quite edgy. They both wanted to win, but at the same time, they didn't want to lose. Like you could get that kind of edginess. Everything was like very safe. But at the end of the day, like really, Tottenham and Arsenal, they are just playing for bragging rights at the moment. I don't know if any of them are particularly making a massive push for the Champions League. Even though Arsenal are 9 points behind, are they? Something like that. More now, maybe 10.
I think, yeah.
10.
They've got to have like a massive goal difference if they were to make it.
Yeah. Which at the moment,
no way they're getting Champions League, let alone. I mean, I think even Europa League is even. Difficult. Yeah.
So like, it's. I don't know. Like, I'm not a massive Kane fan. I do think Son is more of a goal threat. I know that he's you don't want him in the box when the ball's flying around. That's the kind of character Kane is. But apart from that, like, I'm not really a massive. I don't really see him as that big a threat. Where Aubameyang and maybe not Lacazette, but Aubameyang, he's definitely a bit more of a threat. So when I went into this derby, I thought, Tottenham are going to be more scared of Arsenal because of the likes of Aubameyang up front. But Sonny, he's always about, and he's always he is always a threat as well. He comes alive, and it was just a. He's a great player. I don't know if he's gonna like. Would somebody snap him up in the summer, like one of the bigger teams?
Yeah,
no, Son. Surely they'd be interested in him.
Possibly they might be interested in him, but I don't. But I think he's under contract for quite some. The big thing with Spurs players is that Daniel Levy doesn't sell his players for cheap. Until they. So even if it was possible, it wouldn't go for like a substantial sum. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Going to be there. Go on.
The good news for Arsenal is that they're playing Liverpool next, and I mean that in all sincerity, because Liverpool are they're just. I think they've already got their plane tickets to wherever they're going to go on holiday, because they're just like I don't even watch them anymore. It's just they just look their foot is completely off the gas now.
Well, we need to hope that it isn't so much, because we need you to beat Chelsea.
Chelsea's up next after Arsenal, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly.
We're playing two London teams in a row. But yeah, it's the best time to play Liverpool, I've got to admit. Klopp does well to rally the players. I think they do look up for it for at least the first 10 minutes. But anything after that, they kind of just fizzle out, and it's just kind of cruise control. They're just swinging the ball around the park. No one really makes any runs. Salah's the only one, because of the golden boot. Obviously, Salah's the only one that's just 100% the whole way. So yeah, it's good news for Arsenal because they're playing. I think they could probably get a result out of Liverpool. But yeah, we'll obviously see. And then obviously Chelsea. Yeah, obviously all eyes from Man United fans on that Liverpool Chelsea game. But like I say, I think it's a good time to play Liverpool at the minute.
Would you? Well, I mean, I guess we'll go on to top four in a second, actually, because I think that's important. So Don Ragnar actually sort of says after the Southampton game, Ollie went to my friend's pizza joint in Cheshire. When Ollie was asked if he wanted his pizza cut into four, Ollie smiled and said, "Cut it into four, mate. I'm not that hungry." Always the banter, Don Ragnar. K-Si, your thoughts on the London derby?
What a game! What a good race for the Europa League. I'm very excited for the race of the Europa League, man. I mean, look, the Europa League race is going to be absolutely amazing. Cannot wait. Tottenham and Arsenal. Oh, okay, I'm going to be real here. Mourinho we expected this from Jose. Of course, they're never going to come out and attack. But I think if Jose did come out, attack and pressed Arsenal, I think Tottenham would have thrashed them because Tottenham's first team is miles better than Arsenal's first team.
Okay.
They're miles. Look at their attack. Look at Son, Kane, and Bergwijn, man. That's a deadly attack. I expected Tottenham to finish third this season.
Mm-hmm.
I had very high expectations for both these teams. But they just let me down this season personally. I think Arteta is just not good enough for me personally. He's not good enough. He's just crap for Arsenal. I think he's probably the worst manager in Arsenal history, and he's.
Whoa. How is he the worst Arsenal? How is he the worst Arsenal manager in history? Are you saying Unai Emery was better?
Yeah, Unai Emery was way better than Arteta.
Even though he left them in the position that they're in now, and he hasn't had a transfer window.
But you're on about, look, man, I'm judging on right now, and I've seen Arteta's weakness, man. He's too tactically naive, and he won't change with this club and these owners, man. It's just a failure. Emery's better than Arteta. Personally, I think he's better because, look, you're judging him at the way he left Arsenal, but that wasn't really Emery's fault, I don't think. Of course, there was parts to blame with Unai Emery, but it was mainly the players' fault that Arsenal were in that position. But, of course, it was Emery's fault and he did need to go. But I think Emery's better than Arteta, and I think Arteta on Sunday, just proved why he's not a great manager for me. I think Arteta's. I don't see any philosophy, and we were like this under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after we got battered by Watford Burnley every week. But now we see a philosophy. Now we know the project, and now we have a little bit of faith with Ole. But we've not seen anything. But we have seen something with Arteta. I think he's just a counter-attacking manager personally, or a counter-pressing manager where you sit back, but your front line just keeps pressing. That's what I think Arteta is. But I don't see him as an attacking philosophy manager. As for Tottenham, they did very well defensively on Sunday. Tottenham. They probably have a better future than Arsenal. Tottenham, personally, I think you did the video with Spursy earlier today. I think Tottenham will win a trophy under Jose Mourinho. I probably think they'll win the FA Cup or something next year, probably. Mourinho, wherever he goes, he wins. As for the North London derby, before we move on to the next topic, I think Tottenham, personally, but they did better than Arsenal. I think Mourinho just showed a level above Arteta. I just think Arteta's just clueless tactically, and
my only question I'll say is that are you saying that now because he's won? Because no one was saying that when Jose Mourinho and Tottenham failed to get a shot on target against a struggling Bournemouth side.
So I said that Mourinho is a good manager.
Yeah, what I'm saying is no one was saying that about Mourinho when he struggled to get a shot on target against a struggling Bournemouth side.
Yeah, but you can't really. Jose Mourinho is still a top manager for me. I just think, I'm just thinking you get this with Mourinho when he's in bad form. I've seen it many of times at United. I think in his first season. You're talking about that, and look at Mourinho's first season. Yeah, there were some of those games like that. So you can't really judge him like that. But Mourinho is better than Arteta. I'd rather have Mourinho than Mikel Arteta personally, if I had a choice. Because at least we know what Mourinho does. At least we know what Mourinho brings. I'd rather have him over Arteta. But yeah, I think Arteta's just a bad manager. I think the club that he should manage is probably Watford. But yeah, that's my views on it.
Okay, fair enough. Like I said, it's all opinion. It's all opinion. That's fair enough. Just final thoughts before we move on from this little situation. Average Joe in the comments. Ollie doesn't have a philosophy, just individuals. This was proven last game. And Mourinho was a good manager. He can't play in present day football. Was a good manager in present football. He sucks the life out of your team and your players. That's comments, So that's it. It's all about opinion, isn't it? So
yeah.
Speaking average tactics and doesn't know football at the moment.
I mean, shots fired. But I think it's all opinion here, isn't it? So I mean, if I'm and so
I love Joe's opinions, but he just got the only thing wrong. He's just winding me up right now.
It's just winding you up, right? Final thoughts on where you basically see these two teams, because KSI was right in terms of the fact that these two teams have struggled this season. Just as a quick sort of thing, as I set up for the next segment, like, where do you basically see these two teams next season? Tom?
Personally, I think Tottenham need a full rebuild. They've got some. I think nearly probably 75% of their squad's probably over the age of 27 to 28. There needs to be a full rebuild, restructure of the club. I think when Pochettino was there, the players that he had then, and they were a lot younger, and he obviously had his targets that he didn't get because Daniel Levy didn't want to give him the money. I personally think Pochettino was probably 2 or 3 players away from winning the league for Tottenham, to be honest. He had a good style of football. All the fans bought into it. The players bought into it. Why wouldn't you have put Tottenham in that bracket with City and Liverpool? With Jose Mourinho now, I just think he needs to rebuild this team, and I've not seen him go into a club and rebuild the team. I've not seen that. When he went to Chelsea, he had the players there to win trophies. He had the major players. He had Drogba there. He had these players, Lampards. He had world class players there to win things. He's never had to build it himself. He's always had it built and ready made for him. And I just think he's probably 5 or 6 players away just from getting back to where Pochettino was with his team. So I don't necessarily think Tottenham are going to be if they recruit right in the summer and do what I say and get some possibly younger players in maybe, and they buy into Mourinho's play style and philosophy, and the club backs him, then possibly could challenge for the Champions League place for the next season. If not, then I think the same as KSI. I do think Mourinho will win a trophy at Tottenham. I think that's out of the question. But I don't think it'll be something major like a Premier League or the Champions. I think it'll just be something like the FA Cup or maybe even the Europa League. If they're playing that next season, he won it at Man United. So there's no reason why I don't think he could win it for Tottenham with the players like Son and stuff. But in terms of Arsenal, I think Arsenal are in a better position because their squad's a lot more younger. I like some of the younger players in that system and in that team with Arsenal. They've got young forwards like Nketiah and Saka coming through. They've got midfielders like Willock and Guendouzi in there who can possibly fulfil their potentials at the club. And so I think Arsenal are in a lot more better position for developing their team because it's a lot younger. But if Tottenham rebuild and restructure right, then they could be in a bit of a better position than Arsenal. But personally, I just think that Arsenal are that just step ahead of Tottenham in terms of trying to rebuild their team and restructure, really.
Okay. What was I going to say? Shawnee, the final thoughts.
Yeah. So on the future, you mean?
Yeah, future of those two clubs. Yeah, just keep it brief and stuff. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sounds good. It's similar from what I was saying on the last podcast about Arteta and needing to build his team and his squad, because he obviously inherited this squad from Emery. So
Exactly.
so he needs a summer transfer window and some to really build his team and get across his style of play, and get the players that are able to adapt and know how to play that style of play. At the moment, he's only doing with what he's got, and Arsenal are definitely a lot more exciting to watch now than what they were, because they were a right snooze fest. But at least now they're getting the crowd going again. It's exciting. There's Saka. He's a young lad, young promising looking lad that could go on to be a great player. So it's exciting. And it's exactly the same thing as Mourinho. I'm sure that in the summer, hopefully he'll be given the backing to get in a few players that he wants to suit his style. I would have more. I would give Arteta more money than I would Mourinho, purely because it hasn't been the best few years for Mourinho. Let's put it that way. And so, like, at the moment, would you, is there enough confidence to go, yeah, I trust you. Here you go. Here's 150 million. Where with Arteta, it's like, yeah, I can see improvement there. Here's 150 million. So for me, and you might not even need that with Arsenal, because there are youngsters coming through, like I say, Saka, that are showing like great promise. But you do have an age in front, and midfield. I don't want to be harsh on them again, but I do think it needs strengthening, the midfield. Like Guendouzi, he turns up maybe one time every 6 games. You're just like, yeah, that was average.
They don't know the game enough because they're that young, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. So
like playing away from home, young players don't really have the same feel. Like you take a young player like Saka, for example, and you put somebody in there like, I don't know, Aguero. You can see the difference of they know the game a lot better because the game's obviously a lot more modern now.
Yeah, but yeah, for me, Arteta, I'd have more confidence or maybe more faith in Arsenal at the moment. So let's see what happens.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm just going to put KSI. So, KSI, just final thoughts on the way you see Arsenal and Spurs next season, and just keep it brief. We need to move on to our next topic.
Yeah, I have faith in no one, by the way. I have faith that I'd rather have Mourinho personally, and I think who has the better future personally. I think Tottenham have the better future, and I think, as Tom said, I don't think Tottenham will win a Premier League or a Champions League, but I think they'll probably do it way better than Arsenal have. Arsenal is a finished club, bro, because I don't even know why we're talking about Arsenal, man.
Because we're having the conversation about Arsenal. Because we're talking about this, because this is a all football progress. We talk about other teams, not just Manchester United. That's why
Arsenal are in the same level as Norwich City. On the same level as Norwich City.
How are they in the same level?
But who's getting relegated?
Norwich is getting relegated. How are they in the same level?
I bet you Norwich would beat Arsenal personally. And I'm
They
not
haven't.
even.
They got beat 4-0.
But let's take facts. They didn't, and actually, this season Norwich beat Spurs with Jose Mourinho at the helm. Remember in the FA Cup?
Yeah, but Jose Mourinho.
He lost to Norwich.
I don't know what.
Bottom.
What squad he put out?
He put a strong
Put
11.
the best team out.
He put the best team.
I saw
There
Harry
were
Kane on the
players,
field.
big players. Yeah. No. Come on, Gizzo. You've got to be reasonable.
I just think Norwich wanted it more personally. I wouldn't say that.
No shots on target against Bournemouth.
And plus, it was penalties. So technically, Norwich did not beat Tottenham, or thingy. So it's penalty. So don't judge that. Who's gonna have the better future? That's easy. Tottenham Hotspur. And let's hope that we don't discuss Arsenal before they even win a Champions League or Premier League. But yeah, Gunners, hopefully we don't discuss ever again until they actually do something meaningful. And that's my view.
I mean, the Arsenal fans would say that they've done more meaningful than Spurs have done in their entire history so far.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be their arguments. Because they've won trophies, and Spurs unfortunately have not. So
Spurs have won trophies. Why on about?
Which trophy? They've won one League Cup in 50 years. That's nothing. It's nothing. But they've won one league, and Arsenal won titles and FA and multiple FA Cups. So that's what that was. But anyway, let's move on.
FA Cup is literally the Arsenal Cup.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they've won it the most times. Average Joe says Arsenal's the better players for the future. George B says Jose's game is suited to the slow defensive Serie A. And Average Joe says, how do our Spurs have the better future when they don't have a youth system?
So let's got Pochettino's son there.
Oh, he's still there, is he? Is he still there?
Yeah, he signed a new contract because the photo and Pochettino were in the background with Spurs shit on and everything.
Let's quickly move on to the top four race. Just a brief sort of, because obviously Chelsea are playing as we speak. I expected that I think is it still 1-0? I think it's still
1-0. Still
1-0.
Norwich aren't really doing much.
No, they're not going to do anything.
Not scored.
Wait, what?
No, bloody trolls.
Oh, okay, yeah, come on, yeah, don't do that.
I thought Norwich scored because
No.
Norwich are not scoring tonight.
Norwich are not scoring tonight. I've got the score in front. It's just 1-0. 1-0 to I know this is on the BBC website. If Norwich equalise, then
I'll give you a live reaction. But Chelsea's got a free kick from Willian that might win the top corner in a minute. So
yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, think of all the money Spurs have saved on trophy cases. So yeah, top four. So obviously let's just briefly, because I actually want to speak more about the Man City ban and actually Europa League and Champions League draw. So I don't really want to spend a lot on this topic. Because we keep on retreading it again and again. But based on obviously recent results, obviously right now Liverpool obviously is secure, City is secure. You've got Chelsea and Leicester, United, Wolves, and Sheffield. You then have obviously Chelsea have played an extra game now and have got 63 points. Starting with you, sort of Tom, looking at the top four now, and obviously to everyone in the comments, how do you see the final top four looking still? You just ignore Liverpool and City because we know that, but the third.
That's not really a nice thing that I want to be hearing about City Liverpool, because obviously I'm not best of fans with them. But anyway, it doesn't matter about that. Maybe in a couple of years it might get a bit better, but I don't like it. Anyway, in terms of now with the top four, I think the race has definitely intensified. Not one team in the top four. If we're going off of last results, not Chelsea's result actually right now. The only team that gained points was Man United, and they gained 1 point. That was it. Chelsea lost to Sheffield United. Well, Sheffield United obviously got 3 points there. Leicester lost dramatically to Bournemouth and just absolutely capitulated. And obviously Leicester's got some hard games coming up. They've got to go. They've got Sheffield United at home. Then they've got Tottenham, and then they've got Man U. That's a tough run in. Chelsea's last 2 games are hard as well. Liverpool away and then Wolves at the Bridge. 2 teams who are going to be hard to beat. Well, it depends what Liverpool want to put up, really. If they want to get that points tally or not, really. So, but no, in terms of it, I am actually enjoying it because it's really close. There's probably, well, if we actually look at it properly, there's 5 teams that can get into that top 4 mathematically. If you don't include goal difference, and I'm enjoying the race so far, and I think it's going to be something like it was like last season with the title race. It'll go down to the last day of the season for me personally. I've said it all the way. I think Chelsea will probably get in with a win over Wolves at the end of the season. That'll probably confirm them in. And Man United, Leicester, that's just going to be a shootout, really, for 4th place. That's just how I see it. I thought if Man United would have probably won last night, then I would have maybe been a bit more confident about maybe finishing in 3rd place. But yeah, just personally, briefly, I'm probably going to say Chelsea for 3rd place. And I don't know, it's just a head and tails between Leicester and Man United at the moment, which isn't exactly. I'm not that confident as I was probably maybe a couple of weeks ago, but I'll slide Man United in there, but probably just last season, last game of season win possibly. I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's that tight.
Shawnee, as an outsider, obviously because your team not only won the league, but obviously secured Champions League spot. Given everything that's happened sort of this week, what are your thoughts on top 4? Obviously, ignore Liverpool and City. We know that. But the last 2 spots.
Leicester might just about hang in there. I said that last time. It's their form hasn't been great since they came back after the 3-month break. Man United have done really, really well. In fact, it's like done them good. Everyone seems to know what they're doing now. You've got Pogba back. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was kind of stuck with a system. You were kind of shuffling the systems around all the time, like for each individual game, and it just wasn't healthy. And now that he's kind of stuck to that one system, everyone's just kind of slipped into their roles. All right, you didn't get the result that you wanted, but you had 4 wins leading up to that. So yes, give him a bit of credit, Ollie. I
agree.
So, definitely better than Leicester at the minute, but they could. How many games is left now? There's
3
games
left.
Or
Yeah,
2
anything
games.
could happen. Maybe they'll just about hang on.
9 points.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so depending on the games, because obviously Chelsea's still going to go to Liverpool as well, so they might not get a result there. It just depends on what Liverpool turns up. If the champions Liverpool turn up, it'll be a great result for Man United.
Chelsea's just won, by the way, as well.
Okay.
Secure. Okay.
So they're 5 points ahead. Are they on 63?
4 points ahead.
4 points ahead.
4 points ahead. Okay. Which is a lot with 3 games to go.
2 games.
2 games to go. 2 games for them. Yeah. Okay. So I think it would probably stay as it is. I don't think Man United would drop a place. I think they'll probably get the Europa. Leicester might just about hang in there. Chelsea stay 3rd, I think, and depending on what happens at Liverpool. I don't think Wolves haven't done great really. It's like they've had 2 losses in the games since the break.
So have Chelsea though.
Sorry.
So have Chelsea though.
Yeah, but you sense
Chelsea have had to drop points though to let other teams in.
That's it. So yeah, I'd leave it as it is, I guess. And I know maybe United fans aren't happy, but sometimes not having Champions League is actually good. Especially if you're in a rebuilding process.
Could still win the Europa League anyway, so
that's it. Exactly.
It's not really.
Maybe I'm the more optimistic because maybe it's because I'm looking at all the teams and I think a lot of people kind of, because we drew against Southampton. I think a lot of people ignored the fact that Southampton beat Manchester City and drew Everton, and their recent has actually been quite good. So I think there has been almost been answered, oh, we should have beaten Southampton. Like, well,
Not many teams have.
We didn't deserve.
no, we didn't deserve, but we got a point. And frankly, bar the fact
We
that
gained a point.
we gained a point. We were down 10. We were down 10 men. We had injuries, etc. And maybe all the goes through the tactics wrong. So, but I still look at that team and I look at the other two. I mean, even this Chelsea game they won. Like from what I've watched and what I've seen, they were terrible. 1-0 against Norwich. This is like a relegation for the team they've now been relegated enough to play for. 1-0. They lost to West Ham already. They got battered by Sheffield United. And when I look at the last two games that Chelsea have to play, I don't think that Chelsea are going to go to Anfield and beat Liverpool. Especially bearing in mind that Liverpool
it's just a case of who's got the bottle, really. That's it. It's mentally. It's not really on the football, but it's mentally. If you keep up with it.
But what I'm saying is, if I bring Kersine, it's just like looking at the form of the teams. Like whatever you say about United, they are still 18 games unbeaten and have been since the restart. Chelsea, like Leicester, have been awful. They have been absolutely awful. There is no the fact that we've been having this conversation with Leicester coming in shows how bad they've been. I mean, I expected them to beat Bournemouth. In fact, when they scored the first goal, I switched the game off and went out for a walk. Then came back and I was like, what just happened? How did Bournemouth? Was it 4 goals? What happened? So it still boggles my mind how people think, but Leicester are definitely favourites when you're like.
Leicester's still without Maddison and Chilwell, and they've lost their best centre half in Soyuncu.
And Soyuncu is suspended for the next 3 games because he got a straight red.
Yeah, so rest of the season.
The rest of the season, effectively, So and Leicester have to play Sheffield United, who, to be honest, I think will win. They have to play Spurs. Mourinho knows what he'll do, and then they have to play us away. And given their results. To be honest, I can't see Leicester winning any of those games, if I'm perfectly honest. Based on their previous... It's not impossible.
Oh, no.
You can't see them doing it. And then Chelsea, they've not played well. They've not played well, So
I do think they got lucky against Palace. That was a lucky game. They could have lost right at the end.
None of the games have really had a convincing win. If that makes any sense. And so I don't expect even a Liverpool off team. I still expect to beat this Chelsea side because
might play the youngsters to thank him for winning a title. You never know.
He might, but I think Scott said something about how he's not going to give youngsters a free kind of pass or something. So but even then, I guess what I'm saying is that if Liverpool Chelsea lose Liverpool, then with 63 points. Mm-hmm. And then they play Wolves. Wolves are a team that are also closing in potentially on top 4. And that's not without a doubt either. So, what I'm saying is, I guess, before I get KSI, is that I think people are overreacting too much to the Southampton draw. And I'm not looking at the form of these teams going into the last couple of games and the teams they're playing against. Because at the end of the day, United are still playing the next 2 games, teams that are lower than them in the table quite considerably. Chelsea are playing 2 teams that are near around them in Liverpool that are above them and Wolves that are just beneath them. And obviously Leicester, it's Leicester, So that's my KSI, what's your thoughts on top 4?
I think Tottenham are out. I think Wolves are out. How many points are Wolves ahead, by the way?
Wolves have got 55 points. So you say Wolves are out.
They're 3 points behind United.
3 points? 4 points.
4 points.
59.
Yeah,
is it? Oh yeah, it's my fault.
Because that's my view. I think.
So who gets those final 2 spots, 3rd and 4th?
Leicester are the big not worry. I think Leicester versus Sheffield United. I think Leicester will win the game. I think Leicester will put everything on the line. I think they just will get it. Leicester, I think, win.
Really? Against Sheffield?
Yeah, I think they'll win.
Okay.
And I think against Tottenham.
I'll go for a draw there.
So Tottenham will be a draw.
Yeah. Well. I think Chelsea will probably beat Liverpool, maybe.
No. Oh, come on. I've got to disagree with that. Like this.
Wow.
This.
I think Chelsea will smash Liverpool, actually.
What? Based on what?
They've not been beat at Anfield for
Based
like
on
4
what? They haven't been
years.
beaten at Anfield for 2 years.
Relax, man. Relax. Chelsea will batter Liverpool 4-0. I put it on.
Olivier Giroud masterclass.
Liverpool, that politics, man. Chelsea will crap Liverpool 4-0. I'm telling you, Liverpool. They draw against Burnley, and I think Chelsea
lost.
Many teams have drawn against Burnley this season.
Chelsea just lost against West Ham, and they lost against Sheffield United 3-0.
And they beat Man City 2-1.
Yeah, and they lost to Sheffield United, and we beat Manchester City 2 times. It's not like a Wolves beat Manchester City twice.
Yeah.
For the game. That's why I think Chelsea will beat Liverpool. Even my boy Red Devil Weekly, he even said Chelsea will beat Liverpool as well, because I don't think Chelsea they'll win the game. I think
they just sliced it against Norwich 1-0.
They've just beaten Norwich 1-0.
That was at home.
Relax, because we've seen all these results, and of course we've seen a big team absolutely trash another big team this season. With look at United running against Villa, and they absolutely outplayed City and destroyed them at the Etihad.
Who?
We've seen it.
Who outplayed and destroyed City? Who are you talking about?
I'm in December time where we bet Mourinho and Pep in the same week. They absolutely battered them off the park.
Yeah, but what does this have to be?
Chelsea will do to Liverpool. That's what I think Chelsea will do to Liverpool.
At Anfield. At Stamford Bridge, I might potentially agree with you.
Yeah, I would agree maybe there.
It depends on what happens. Like if Liverpool turns up as a counter-attacking team, because they could if they wanted to. They know that Chelsea wants to go for it. Chelsea have
aren't
to
good
do
defensively anyway. So.
That's it. Yeah. If they let them counter-attack, then I think Liverpool will just easily win. But if the sorry, mate, carry on.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, I think that makes a good point about defensively. You're sort of like you're making it sound like Chelsea's defense is like the brick wall. Like they've conceded at least 10+ goals since the restart from. I think Chelsea win the game. Chelsea versus Wolves. I'm gonna. If they.
I'm recording this as well. After this.
Recording these. So,
I'm playing this next week on the podcast.
Chelsea will win the game.
Okay.
Wolves, Chelsea. I think Chelsea will probably draw that game. I think Chelsea will draw that game. So that means I predicted. So Chelsea on 63, 56, so 67 points. That's what I think Chelsea will be on. Leicester 59, so they'll probably be on 63 because I'm not predicting the last game. Manchester United, anything's possible against Crystal Palace, but I think we might edge it. So that's 62.
You're getting a lot of hate not hate, just disagreement in the comments. So Joe Abraham says, I have a feeling the FA Cup semi. I'll actually read some of these comments. Sorry, guys. I have a feeling that the FA Cup semis are huge for the morale of the players. I agree. Although,
I agree with that.
If I'm perfectly honest, I wouldn't burn out some of these players, especially.
No.
Mr. Wick says you can tell the Manchester United players want it. They're playing to entertaining. Average Joe says Leicester has been trash though. Georgia, no way, crazy talk. And Mr. Wick says Leicester have dropped the ball. So let me finish up reading them out. You can play entertaining. It's about winning. I agree. Q, look at the recent results, my guy. Mr. Wick, Liverpool will win 2-0. Rasmus shouts out, "Lol, is this guy trying to be controversial, having a laugh?" Georgia B says LFC is going for the Premier League. Sorry.
I'll easily destroy you in a debate, man. I'll easily destroy you in a debate.
You're not producing like, but KSI, you're not producing facts though, based on evidence though. You're producing it based on speculation. That's the problem.
Bro, I'm telling you, they will do it. Leicester.
Right, KSI. If it doesn't happen,
one of the previous game between Liverpool and Chelsea.
Where's this forfeit you were talking about? If Liverpool win the league,
Liverpool have nothing to play for. Look at the Liverpool.
they've got records to break.
LFC's going for the Premier League points and win records, so they do have something to play for. They're going for the Premier League points and win records. Georgia B, Mighty Canaries, exactly 1-0. I mean, come on. Leicester have no Sionshu, and secret agent Johnny Evans will want to keep his wife happy. Works at MU. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wrap it up, and then we're gonna move on. So, what's your final point, KSI? Who? Just give a clap for like third and fourth. Is it?
I think Manchester United could easily lose on Thursday if Palace.
Okay, but what is your specific?
What's
who
the prediction?
Third, and who finishes fourth?
Look, man, listen. Before I get
No. We need. No, KSI, we need to move on. KSI, no. We need to move on. I need a quick prediction.
Hey, listen. We all said Manchester United will thrash Southampton. Look what happened. And you said, I think one of these people said that even if Manchester United, if Southampton pocket out Bruno Pogba, they have so much quality, and United won't have an off day. Look, we had an off day. Everyone had an off day except Martial Rashford.
I wasn't confident. I even said that.
Okay, so bear that in mind. What is your prediction for third and fourth?
Manchester United third, Chelsea fourth.
Wait. Okay, that's fine.
Let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, hopefully something a bit less controversial. So I didn't think of going for the Manchester. Well, is this less controversial? It's probably just as controversial, isn't it?
Oh,
the Manchester City ban. Now, obviously, people are aware. What happened with the recent events on Monday, with Manchester City.
slap on the wrist.
Basically getting the slap on the wrist and saying, right, okay, average Joe City has half of the UEFA on the payroll. I don't think it's that. And I think what I want to clarify here, because I think a lot of people were sort of saying, it's City have bribed UEFA or, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's not the case. They
bribed the judges or the panel or something.
Yeah, so CAS is an independent organization. Okay?
Yeah, it's a sport organization. It's like the sport court.
Exactly, pretty much. So at the end of the day, like they obviously Man City took UEFA to that, and CAS obviously judged in favor of Man City instead of UEFA. So for me, actually, it's UEFA that has egg on their faces because, frankly, they shouldn't have gone public with something like this if they weren't certain without irrefutable evidence that Man City did what they did. I think they were just frustrated that City didn't comply with them, which is fair enough, and they got fined. I bet a small fine.
9 million.
Yeah, exactly. Barely anything.
Probably make that in a couple of hours. Flogging some oil to somebody.
I mean, it's like it's a sixth of the price of one of their fullbacks, isn't it? So it's barely anything. So, but yeah, I mean, just quick thoughts because I probably want to spend the remainder of this stream. Sorry, just actually going through the Europa League and Champions League, Europa League draw, and briefly talking actually about Real Madrid for 5 minutes. But what are your guys' thoughts on the City ban? Was there anything the UEFA could do? What does this mean for football? Shawnee, why don't you start first?
Yeah, I can't believe that they went back on it. To be completely honest, I honestly thought they were going to make an example of City, it's not like I have a hatred for City at all, but I just thought that okay, they obviously took City and they've grabbed them by the scruff of the neck to hold them up to everybody else, like say, look, this is what happens if you do this. We're taking.
Yeah, but they did this a couple of years ago. They did it with PSG, and
and Barcelona
got away with it, and Barcelona got away with it.
And Barcelona. That's what I mean.
Times.
Yeah, that's what that. But on this occasion, they went one step further, and they sort of put out there that there was going to be an official, like, you know, that it was going to be up to 2 years ban, and that it was just going to be a discussion of how severe it's going to be. But now that they've just completely dropped it all, and it was just 9 million. I mean, literally, Minamino cost less than that. You know, like it was just ridiculous. It's just silly. I don't know. Like for me, it was just it was one of them roll your eye moments where it's just like, you got to be kidding me, man. Come on, like what? Okay, fair enough. You could. There's a lot of online, like Twitter went mad, and they were just like, oh, it's because it's the first time that they've done this. You know, same as the other teams. And the next time they'll really get them if they do it again, and all that kind of stuff. But you can't just go like that forever. Just get everyone a get out of jail free card, because everyone's going to take advantage of it. So they should have it should have been a at least a season. So that was my thoughts.
Tom, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Well, you already saw me when I DM'd you. I was absolutely furious with it, to be honest with you. I don't really get how financial fair play, to be honest with you, it shouldn't even be in the game. You know, there's been 3 cases that have been took to CAS in the last 10 years, and UEFA's tried to pin it on 3 different clubs. Because, 4 actually, because Shawnee's just reminded me there of what happened with Barcelona. Manchester City now, that was financial fair play rules. Barcelona, a couple of years ago, that was financial fair play. Then you go into detail with what happened with PSG. And then if you go back a long time ago, it actually happened exactly the same with Galatasaray. Galatasaray actually got banned out of the Champions League for a season because of it. And I look at it and I think financial fair play is in place to protect clubs financially and to structure the game of football financially. And I don't particularly think financial fair play should be in the game, to be honest with you, because they've tried to stick it and make a statement multiple times. It's failed. Well, it worked one time against Galatasaray, but they were never going to win the Champions League, really, were they? They could have, but it was never going to happen. And I look at, obviously, what happened, and when you actually go into detail with it, it's over a 5-year period, this. They've brought stuff up from the archives of Manchester City 5 or 6 years ago. 5 or 6 years too late. If you're going to make a statement about Manchester City, you should have done it 5 years ago. Because I think it's ridiculous, to be honest with you, because you're telling me you put Liverpool in there or you put Manchester City in there, the result would have been different. Maybe it would have. You know, we're never going to know because we wasn't in the court. Nobody was in the courtroom. Manchester City's lawyers were in the courtroom. UEFA's lawyers were in the courtroom, and the panel. That was it. And then a decision got made. But with the way Manchester City, Pep Guardiola and all his players were, I think they already knew weeks in advance.
Yeah, I agree. The impression I got was that, he said I was very confident. Everyone seemed to be very chilled out, etc. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but I think financial fair play should be just taken out of the game, to be honest with you. Money is just, like Average Joe's just said in the comments, I've said this multiple times, money is ruining the sport we love. And because it's just, people are investing, people don't want the Saudis to invest in Newcastle. I wonder why, because it's just going to ruin the game. They're just going to pump in probably billions of pounds in and make Newcastle into a super giant. It's not the fair way of doing it. You need to build a team.
But
yeah, go on.
But it seems to be... It seems to be the sorry, 2 seconds. I think to be fair, it seems to be the only way that people can compete, and that seems to be the problem. So because
but it doesn't have to be money. You look at young players that we're seeing in the world. You look at Mason Green. You look at Haaland. Sancho. Whoever you want to look at, they've all come from a youth system. It's not been bought for major money. And this is what I mean.
If you look at the Premier League is one thing, but the thing is, you're right. But the thing of the Premier League is unique in the way that it just is with TV rights and obviously with established clubs. If we're having like a holistic view of things, like when you look at the other leagues, when you look at PSG, when you look at Bayern, when you look at so many of these other clubs, at the end of the day, Like these are just clubs that are just dominated by maybe one, maybe maximum two teams, and that's it. And all the other teams have no hope in competing. So for certain clubs, especially clubs that maybe been mismanaged or fans that maybe want, for example, the opportunity sort of compete, I can understand why it's understandable if a rich guy comes and says, oh, actually, hang on for a minute, I can invest. And obviously that investment is not just in the club, but it's obviously in the local community.
Like the stadium stuff,
well.
what Tottenham did.
Sorry?
Like what Tottenham did with the stadium to improve the fan base.
Yeah, but not even just in the community as well. I mean, as someone who lives in the northeast in Newcastle and so on, like I've seen a clear difference from when Sunderland was in the Premier League and when Sunderland is now in League One in terms of just the environment, the atmosphere in the city, because of what Premier League football brought to the country. Because the football club, the football stadium, is often the heart, whether rightly or wrongly, of these communities. So the part of the big problem is that as you said, the reason why FFP was in the first place was for clubs to be able to to prevent
showcase the finances.
Showcase finances, but more importantly, for there to be stability. Because what was often happening is that clubs, millionaires, for example, I think a case in point would be what happened with Bury that don't exist anymore, where an owner just comes, has how many so millions of pounds, and often the way that the money that was coming in, because to be fair to the Saudi guys, at least the money that they have is like cash in hand.
Well, yeah.
A lot of the owners they had previously, like the Glaze and these types of American owners, were buying clubs on debt, loans, etc. And then will saddle the clubs with that debt, and then
it's like I say, money and finances are ruining football. I look at Liverpool is a prime example of that. Is the way you structure a football club. Liverpool's not got multi-billionaire owners. They've had to work with what they've worked with. Finances are in order. I don't see Liverpool coming out saying they've got £800 million club debts or anything. And this is what I mean. That is the way you structure a football club. If you don't want to run a football club for the sport itself, why are you in the business? Really? Why you go to somebody, say if I go to you now, G, and I say, right, why do you want to buy a football club? Would you say, oh, I want to buy a football club because I want to just splash my cash and show look, I've got this much millions in my pocket and get my name out there. You'd want to do it for the football.
I'm not a billionaire though. This is the thing. So perhaps
I'm saying if you are.
Sorry?
No, but I'm saying if you are.
If I was a billionaire, well, possibly, because like this is the mindset. Because when you're a billionaire, when you have the amount of wealth that some of these places have, like it doesn't become a question of like how you use your money. It's what I can do with my money. And if I can buy a football club like a limousine because some other team has got it, so then unfortunately you do it, unfortunately. And my only argument why I'm not as hard on, let's say, the Saudi owners and so is that at least the money that they have is cash in hand. I'd rather you don't saddle the club with debt and loans and borrow and you cripple the club like some of these American and British owners or whatever. And essentially, if the loan defaults, the club is in trouble and goes under, which is what happened with Bury, as opposed to like you say your cities and your PSGs that at least it's like cash in hand money. You know that's not going to happen. But I see this. I share the sentiment. I do think money is still running football. And
let me just say this, right? Just to finish, and then you can move on to KSI. In terms of financial fair play, if I'm UEFA, we've had egg on his face multiple times. Just chuck out the game. There's no point. You might as well just let people just keep the finances, keep it to themselves and everything. If they go bankrupt or they go bust, then that's the club's fault for not running the finances properly. Don't try and overcomplicate European football and their own country's football, and that's what UEFA's tried to do. And they've been made an absolute mockery on the stand in a courtroom.
I agree. Quickly reading through some of these comments. So Yoga Delman is going to bang, and don't worry, I went them in a new episode of Wednesdays. Yes, please head over to his channel and check that video out, Suspect Dream. Yeah, all sports need money to survive, but it gets ridiculous. Average Joe, Man City was built on corruption or money. How many youth players are in City's squad? 1 or 2? Like I said, that's fair enough. It's fair enough. I guess as you know,
Depends what approach a team wants to go. If they want to build a team by investing a load of money, that's fine. Or if they want to develop young players, there's different approaches. So
next Man City, even if we made a Super League Cup and find a way into, then you have the Arsenals who just take money out of the club. Reddit, but are the Saudis' way of getting the money fit your moral compass? That's sort of. Well, I mean, okay. First and foremost, the city owners are Qataris, so the Qataris are different from the Saudis. So obviously we're talking specific amounts of the city. So I'll dodge that bullet in that sense because Newcastle are the one going to start. And to be fair, Sheffield United.
It's a cop-out answer.
Sheffield United are owned by the Saudis, and no one seems to be talking about them. So I will put that out. Everyone says he's been praising Sheffield United all season, but no one knows that they're also owned by not the same company that's going to be.
But they're owned by a different partner.
Exactly. So, but there's been no media attention around that. Everyone is happy. Sheffield United, Chris Wilder. So, just saying. But in the context of this, like I said, for me, the way that I see it before I went to KSI is that there was already a lot of money that was going in. There's too much money that was going into the game, and I've got no idea there's corruption. But I just feel that, when I look at the impact it has on community, and when you look at when you speak to say fans of
there's pros and cons to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think that there were too many. The whole point of FFP in the first place, I think people get it confused. It's just that people don't spend tons of money. Yeah, there's an element of that, but the foundation.
Yeah, you need to go into detail to know what financial fair play is. If you want to know what it is, you go onto the internet and go and look at the court statement that got issued when Manchester City's ban got overturned, and it'll give you a detailed explanation of what financial fair play is. That's what I'll just say to the viewers.
Yeah, no, that's right. The fundamental aim of FAP was ultimately to protect football clubs and players. Ultimately, that's across the board. It was to protect football clubs and players from essentially rogue owners, taking money in, taking money out, and ultimately the club failing, and you get instances where players aren't paid their wages, etc. That was ultimately the purpose of it, but obviously things have been taken advantage of. KSI, what's your thoughts before we move on?
I'm very sorry to tell you this. I'll get to that in a minute. But UEFA versus Man City, man. Look, I don't know that much about this corruption money or all that, but I think personally UEFA just got absolutely destroyed because you just give them a ban, even though there was some evidence. Because I think who was it? The hacker or something, Brazilian hacker.
Yes, it was Del Spiga, I think.
Yeah. He leaked documents of Man City.
Yeah.
There was this hacker or something. I don't know. But he leaked information about it, and as lots of people thought it was legit. But I don't know. UEFA, they just instantly just gave City a ban. They didn't really look into it that much. But either his thing was a lie, or UEFA didn't look into the thing that much and just gave City the ban. I don't know what's the issue. I already knew about City were going to get the ban overturned. I think it was Sunday. I got a friend who's on Skype. He's from Manchester. He didn't officially tell me, but he said his mates and all that, his family and all that, because they're from Manchester, they were hearing rumors that City were going to get their ban overturned because they got the information, everything sorted. So I knew that, but I didn't officially know that City were going to get the ban overturned. But they did get overturned. Now, I don't know. Man City, they got away with it. They got away with it. Now their fans, I've seen their fans on YouTube, Twitter. They're getting absolute cocky now, and right to be. But just relax, man. Pipe down. You have no fans.
Lovely
Go
way
on.
to hit back at the haters.
Yeah, man. But yeah, seeing Van Gogh overturned, that's just mad. I thought they were never gonna get overturned. I thought, De Bruyne and all that. We had this discussion, man. We had this discussion
We
2
did.
weeks ago. Will Pep leave? We didn't even consider Man City's ban getting overturned. We were like, yeah, 1 year. They're
Because
back.
we didn't really hear much then, though. We were just hearing that it were going to get reduced.
Oh,
If
Yeah, but
anything.
oh, I'm gonna quickly look in the and I see. Oh, sorry. Once and I see. You only need to post your comment once. Only you need to post your comment in once. I will get to it. Don't worry. But you post it 3 times. I will get to your comment and I see it. Okay. Go on, KSI. Continue speaking.
But yeah, man, like I was like, either City like got all the information and that ready on the week, or I don't know, man. But maybe even looking at it, I think UEFA will try again to get City banned. Honestly, I'm being honest here. They'll try again, but
They can't do.
lockdown that.
Well,
I think they'll try
they
again.
can't. Well,
They can't do. They've
They
got a
can't.
right to a second opinion, but it might not even get taken
Yeah.
into account. And
Yeah.
and then if it doesn't get taken into account, then they've got to wait so many years before they can do anything.
I mean, look, these people at UEFA need to get fired because you don't ban a team from the Champions League without any, stuff and all that.
I mean that is a fair point. I mean, if they were going to pursue this sort of ban, they should have had sufficient evidence or reasonable evidence that they could do so. If
they was going to ban them like they have and just slate the name of the media, then why didn't they show the world the evidence that they had on Manchester City then?
Yeah.
Why didn't they? This is what I mean. If you're going to enforce something, you're going to enforce your rules or your politics in football. Don't at least show some sort of evidence. It's like going to a court scene where somebody's been murdered or something, and you go there and you try and produce. You've got no evidence that they've done it. You know what? They're just going to get let off. Then this is what I mean with football. It's just getting ruined. And UEFA, like the football organisation in UEFA.
I haven't seen any stuff on UEFA. Of course, they got a little bit of criticism, but everything I see on Twitter, I've not actually seen that much criticism of UEFA. Or maybe it's just me. I'm not seeing people actually criticizing. But yeah, I mean.
Okay, so I think
the people that are involved in this case at UEFA need to get absolutely fired because we don't mess up with that. If you've not got the information, don't go up with the stupid idiot hacker that doesn't really know anything and go off what he's saying. I mean, I think City have done illegal stuff. They have to because they've got the owners. They probably have done dodgy stuff, but people don't know. So, I mean, I think the final's fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna go a rant.
Yeah, just wrap.
I don't know that much about it, but we move on.
Okay.
We move on.
We move on indeed. Let me just quickly read a few comments before we move on to Real Madrid title. When Saram scored in the last minute, I was not sure that they were playing against United or Barca. I assume it's a dig at Barcelona. Bear in mind that we're coming to Real Madrid in a second, actually. Ed Woodward is on his way to court right now. You lot needs that CL spot despite top 4. I swear he'd do that as well. I think if we don't get top 4, Ed Woodward's going to get a lot of fingers pointed into definitely.
Just like every year.
Definitely. So let's quickly just sort of move on. So just Real Madrid close in on the title. Real Madrid closing on the title. Now, my goodness, man. I'll just get the league.
Don't we need to win one more game?
Yes, essentially, there's 2. I mean, as you see the table here for everyone who's watching, Real Madrid have 83 points, Barcelona 79. So effectively, they're 4 points clear of Barcelona, which basically means they don't even have to win. They can draw because there's only 2 more games of the Liga season left. So in order for Real Madrid only have to not avoid defeat.
Who do they play as well?
They play. I'll just get up here for everybody. So they're gonna play. They've got Villarreal at home. So Villarreal at home, and then Leganés to finish off with. That's who they're playing. So I mean, it's within their grasp. If they win, which I expect that they will, or even draw, it's a first title in goodness knows how long. It must be at least 3 years, I think. TBF in the comments, please remind me. So, but we are 1 win away. Yeah, TBF in the comments. Yeah, please let me know when was the last time Real Madrid won a title, because I think it must have been at least 3 years ago. And as you said, do you guys think that now we know that City's ban is removed, they have the possibility of getting Messi this season, because we know that there are rumours that Messi's not happy with the board?
No, I'm sick of hearing this, to be honest with you.
Okay,
You know, I will
address
start.
I don't have to dwell on it, but quickly address that statement.
Like a world star like Messi, he's played his whole career. He's been at the youth ranks at Barcelona. He's played his whole career there. Why would he leave? I don't even know how old he is now. What is he, 33 or something? Why would he leave now? He's just going to extend his contract for another 5 years, see it out, go into retirement, and he'll be renowned as one of the greatest players to grace the football field.
2017 last time, sorry, that Real Madrid won the title. 20, so that is 3 years ago exactly. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
But no, I don't see Messi leaving. You know, I didn't really see Ronaldo leaving Real Madrid, but he's not exactly been there his whole entire life. But, you know, with Messi, he's been there his whole life. He's been brought up in that country, you know, from... I think his family moved over to Spain for a couple of years and everything when he actually got scouted by Barcelona. So, in terms of Messi leaving, I don't see him leaving. And to be honest with you, with the financial aspect of the impact of the pandemic and everything, I don't really know who would afford him, to be honest with you. So that's just my opinion anyway.
Cool. Okay. So just quickly, just getting back to Real Madrid closing on a title. So I don't think there's really much to discuss on this. Only that. I
wanna shut down the haters. I wanna shut down.
No. We need to stick on topic. Sorry. We need to stick on topic. Sorry. Just quickly, just go through. Sean, do you think Real Madrid deserve to win this Liga title?
Yeah, I think you know, they've had a better run in. You can see there they have 5 and 5. That's obviously not quite from the break, because I think they've had more games than us, haven't they? So like they've had maybe 6 or 7 games. Have Real Madrid won all of them leading up to it?
And the last
I think they drew one.
They drew one.
Score. They've won their last. They've won their last 5.
Yeah, they've won the last 5. And you know, Barcelona dropped points, so they've you know, dropped a total of 4 points. So in the end, yeah, like I mean, me and Josh, we were making Takage. We were saying, okay, they're going to do it based on that they have Messi. It obviously wasn't good enough, and you know, they've got that edge. They've got the extra 4 points that you know, Barcelona lost. So fair play to them, and good on them. And hopefully they can take the momentum into next season as well to keep that race so close. So we'll see what happens.
RDS, when we lift the league trophy, put me on a pod, and I'm sitting on all these boards. We will certainly have it. I think that'd be a good idea. I think I had a good conversation with a Spursy fan. We had a good talk. So I think I'm going to be doing a few of those where I almost interview fans from different clubs. I think I might start doing that actually, because I think
I thought that was actually quite good as well. I watched the whole thing.
Oh, appreciate it, buddy. But yeah, so I think it'll be good to have you on the camera, and we can talk about Real Madrid. And I see it says the thing that would shock me isn't Madrid winning a Liga, but Madrid has won all their games since football resumed. My goodness. So I'll quickly get KSI in, and then we're going to quickly end with people's thoughts on the Champions League, Europa League. Or do you want to go quickly to that? Do you have any thoughts on this Real Madrid thing, or do you want to move straight to the?
I just want to shut down the haters.
No. Focus on the topic, KSI, please. We need to move on.
Because I said, what did I say? What did I say a couple of weeks ago? Tell me. What did I say?
I can't remember what you said. What did you say? Remind me.
Real Madrid will win the league 100%.
You did.
And people didn't believe me. I said 100%, man. 100%.
Who didn't believe you? I don't think.
Don't ever quite know. This was before the Liga even the resume start. I think it was the week of La Liga resume starting.
Okay.
I said Real Madrid will win the league, and people said, I think it was Shawnee who said it. Who said that? Oh, you have lots of predictions, do you? I said Real Madrid would win La Liga.
Okay.
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Real Madrid are a big threat, and we'll get to the Champions League in a minute, but they're a big threat to that. They could easily knock out City. But sticking to topic, Real Madrid will win La Liga. They've just got it wrapped up, really, and I think people need to understand they need to be realistic with their lives. Barcelona, of course, they're not. They need a rebuild, man. But we move on.
Yeah, Red Care says, and Acid said, yeah, you're getting a lot of love in the comments. Average Joe says, talk you. And Acid says, yes, Red Care says, spot on. I was on the podcast, and Care did say, Red Real will win the league 100%. So, fair enough. Vindicated. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right. Well, now that we're Real Madrid, let's quickly wrap up with the Europa League and Champions League draw reaction. So obviously we'll start with the Greater League, which is obviously the Champions League, which we all hope to get a part of. Now,
Can we start with the Europa League?
We should probably start the Champions League just because
it's the main competition.
It is the main competition as opposed to the. So I'm gonna quickly get it out. 2 seconds. 972. I have. It's always difficult to stream. So there we go.
Are we predicting it?
Yeah, well, just quick predictions. I don't want to give like explanations on like why and who and where, just because we'll do that closer to the time. But I just want sort of quick like snap sort of. So I'm going to go through them. So just listen up. So obviously people can hopefully see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
So obviously you have. Go back. Obviously you have. On the one side, so the first quarterfinal, on the one side, you've got Real Madrid, Man City versus the outcome of Olympiacos versus Juventus. Then you have RB Leipzig versus Atletico Madrid.
Olympiacos? What were you on about?
Sorry,
Lyon.
RB versus Atletico Madrid. Sorry, it was Olympic Lyon. Sorry, in the Juventus. Not Olympic.
I was going to say.
Olympics, stupid. Then third quarterfinal, Napoli and Barca on one side. And then Chelsea and Bayern on the other side. And then the fourth quarterfinal, Atalanta, PSG. So I'm going to start. So I just going through you guys. And obviously the games that have outcomes to finish. Let's put it that way. I just want to quickly who's going to win the second leg of those games, and then who's going to then win the quarterfinal. So I'll start with Sean. If you want to just go for it.
Wow. Okay. So we've got. I think. Shall I just start from the top left?
Yeah. Start with the top left, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually going to be really interesting now because City are going to be really, really hungry, and their form has improved a little bit. I think. I think they're a little bit more relaxed now as well. They kind of okay, the title's done with. Pep's really, really hungry for this. He's going to get his players rallied, so it'll be an interesting game, that one. But once again, Real Madrid, they'll be high from just winning the La Liga. So it's just dependent on who's more hungry for it. Can Madrid maintain that fire and take it to City? So. Yeah, that's probably maybe going to be the toughest one. So I'll maybe come back to that one. I think Juventus should be okay with Lyon. So I don't think they struggled too much there. I know that they haven't had the most consistent of season, but I think they pulled it together just towards the end. Even though their cup run wasn't the greatest in that, but Champions League's different and anything can happen. I can't quite see the comments in the way, so that's a big dream. Yeah, okay. Napoli, Barca. Well, Barca, if they have lost out on the title, that's a competition that they can sort of redeem themselves with. I mean, the thing is, I think for me, I reckon Bayern Munich are going to win it. That's the thing. So I don't know. It doesn't really matter who gets to the final or the semis. I'm fairly sure that that it's going to be between either Munich or Madrid. I think.
Which Madrid?
The Real Madrid. Yeah, I don't know about Atletico. Like surely one of these teams has got to suss them out and just give them a spanking.
So in your, because obviously we're just predicting who's going to win these outcomes. So
Okay.
Atletico Leipzig, who comes out on top there?
Okay, I'll go with City beating Madrid, just as a bit of a stunner, because obviously City lost the title. They have to show for something. Madrid have already won the title, so they might have a percentage of their play loss. So I'll go with Madrid there. Juventus going through. I'd like to say Leipzig, but I think Atletico will make it one step further. Barcelona will make it through against Napoli. Munich will make it through against Chelsea, and Atalanta Paris Saint-Germain. That's a funny one as well, actually.
Yeah,
but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll go with Paris.
Okay, fair enough. Tom, what are your thoughts on the outcome of these fixtures?
Well, I'm going to do the exact same as Sean. I'm going to leave the top one till last because that's a hard one to decide. I'm going to start from bottom to top then. Atalanta, PSG. PSG haven't played for I don't know how long because the league got postponed. So there's going to be some restless legs because they've not played any football professionally anyway. So I think that's going to play a factor. Right, I just want to ask one question. Where are these games actually being played at? I don't actually know this. Portugal, okay. I didn't know if they were playing at neutral ground, at their own grounds or neutral.
Except they're playing Portugal except for the outstanding last of 16 games. Those will be played in their respective homes.
Right, okay. Okay, I'll go for PSG. Barcelona, Napoli. You see, with Barcelona struggling in the league and everything, and I think losing out on that. A couple of months ago, Barcelona were flying in the league, and many had them predicted down to win the league. I always had it in my mind. I thought Real Madrid might, it's Real Madrid at the end of the day, they might catch up, and obviously they have done. Barcelona aren't particularly having a good time with it. They've got problems on the pitch and off the pitch with the manager and major players. I'm going to throw a bit of a curve, but I'm going to say I think Napoli might do them there. To be honest with you, I'm going to throw a curve, but I think Napoli might just edge past Barcelona. Chelsea, Bayern, that was already wrapped up for me. Not really a contest. I don't think Chelsea can really get back into that any way possible. So I'm going to go Bayern Munich there. Leipzig.
In the quarterfinals, then Bayern versus Box. That will obviously be the quarterfinal. Bayern versus, was it Barcelona? Was it you said?
No, I said Napoli.
Napoli. So who would win in Bayern versus Napoli then?
Bayern.
Okay. Yep. So keep on going, buddy.
Leipzig, Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid personally got maybe just sliced past Liverpool. A bit of fortune with the goalkeeper errors, but it's football. At the end of the day, it happens. It's a hard one to actually choose because I think they're really evenly matched. To be honest, I'll go for RB Leipzig. I'll go for Leipzig over one leg. Now we get onto the big one. Manchester City are 2-1 up. We've got to play at the Etihad. I'm going to go for Man City. I'm going to go for Manchester City to get through that. What's the first leg result from the Lyon-Juventus match?
It was 1-0 to Lyon, if I'm correct. I'll just
and where have they got to play at? Juventus.
Juventus, yeah. It was 1-0 to Lyon. They're going to play Juventus. The only factor I would say to bear in mind, well, two factors is obviously the lack of French football, although they're playing friendlies. Although in Lyon's favour, Memphis Depay will be playing, and he wasn't playing in the first leg.
I'll go for Juventus. I think they can get past them. And if you want me to do what Shawnee said and pick a team for it all, a couple of weeks ago I was saying Atletico Madrid. I watched them in the league a couple of weeks over the last couple of weeks and everything. I think they've been shocking, to be honest with you. Embarrassing. So I'm going to change my prediction, to be honest. I'll bet my money on Bayern Munich as well. I'll change my prediction. I'll put it on Bayern Munich.
Okay, I'm just quickly get KSI. There's a few questions from and as a steed, we're going to get to those questions at the end. We're just going to quickly get these predictions out of the way. We'll address the questions and then wrap up.
Bro, are you gonna put your face on?
No, just because I need to be focused on the screen. So can you just quickly give your prediction? Sorry, can you?
So the semis, yeah.
Yeah, no, the can you not see the screen of the pictures? No. Okay, let me have a.
No.
Let's have a look. Okay.
Shall we just read the matches out to him?
I think this might help actually. I think it's
okay.
Can you see them now?
Yeah, I can see them. Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, quickly if you can give me your prediction on the matches you can see.
Okay. I'll start off with Lyon Juve. Lyon versus Juventus. I think Juve will win because I just think they have too much quality personally. Chelsea Bayern, obviously Bayern Munich, unless you're HH. Barcelona, I'm probably gonna say Napoli. I think Napoli will win.
And as Saeed says, I've just seen his comments, says the guy who's saying Napoli versus Bayern is smoking crack. Keep on going on, KSI. Predictions.
I've never had that before.
Real Man City, I'm going to go Man City. These quarterfinals. Quarterfinal 1, Atletico versus Leipzig. Atletico, I think, will go to the semis.
Okay.
Bayern Munich, Napoli, I'm going to say Bayern Munich. Paris Saint-Germain, Atalanta, I'm going to go with Atalanta. I think they'll win. I've said it, semi-final. And Juve, Man City, I'm going to go with Ronaldo and Juventus. So that means Juventus versus Bayern in the semis, and my other prediction, which is Atalanta versus Atletico Madrid, which is probably going to be one of the worst semi-finals in history.
Okay. Well, Anasa Seed says, do you guys agree if PSG chokes against Atalanta, then they will have the excuse that there were no competitive games? No.
Yeah,
no. Sorry.
They're going to say something like, "We've not played a match in I don't know how long." You know, that's probably going to be something that'll be thrown at the manager. You know, is it because you've not played for a long time or something? But I don't really know, to be honest.
No, I don't think that can be an excuse, to be honest.
No, I don't think it should be an excuse, but it's something that they'll try and use.
Fair enough. Let's obviously quickly move on from the Champions League. Also, Suspect Dream says, HH is the big I've seen. Manchester is one of the best midfield in history for a World Cup final goal. Who's his crack dealer? I mean, me and H, we have different perspectives on how we define. I think he ranks the World Cup quite high. He ranks the World Cup quite highly. I do as well, but I value more consistency over just individual accolades. So consistency at a higher performance, I value more than just a one-off performance. But that's just my opinion, and each to their own. So let's quickly move on to the Europa League, and I'll just quickly get that up. That I would imagine that should be a bit more straightforward. 2 seconds, everybody.
Bro, are you going to be doing the Q&A thing at the end?
We're going to be doing, because there's just a few questions Anasa Seed had, so we'll just quickly address some of those. Sorry, guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to find the... where is it? Not bad. Oh, I think this is it. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Everyone should be able to see that now.
Oh,
Yeah.
chuffing hell.
Can everyone see that, or do I need to?
Can you like zoom it in a bit more? If you
I'll zoom up a wee bit. 1 second. Ooh.
That's better. That's
There
better.
we go. Cool. Sorry for the didn't stop. Okay. So obviously this is the Europa League, the lesser sort of competition. Let's be real, it is a lesser competition. It is. So just going through these. Sorry. Just going through these matches. Again, starting with Sean. Sorry, who do you think is going to go through in these matchups?
So look, I'm like thereabouts. Like I quite enjoy watching Wolfsburg play. So I'll go with Wolfsburg going through against Shakhtar Donetsk. What are the scores right now, or is this the first leg?
So these are the. So in fact, that's a good point. Let me just quickly get the Europa League scores up.
Okay.
So this might
Because if I remember, Copenhagen like did a number on a couple of teams, and they were like at one stage just a shock and a bit of a surprise to everybody.
I hope so. I think there's a lot.
Yeah, so was that Istanbul team?
Yeah.
Istanbul knocked out Sporting, I think they did.
Oh, did they really?
I remember.
Yeah, right, okay. So that's a good match then. What's the score there?
I'll just quickly get so this is all the way back in March. So I'll just quickly get this up because yeah, you're right. It's probably a good idea to actually have a quick
look at the scores. Cool.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So
okay. I don't think Frankfurt are going to get 4 goals against Bâle.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Bâle going through there. Mm-hmm. The Istanbul and Copenhagen one, that's going to be an interesting one, I think. Is the Turkish league back on now?
The Turkish league's been back on for quite some time, actually.
Is it? Okay.
It's definitely been back for some time.
That's a tough one to call. That's a really tough one to call. And it's I'm assuming that was at home for Istanbul, so now they have to go to Copenhagen and get a result there. So pretty much, if Istanbul score, Copenhagen's pretty much done for, I think. So I'm going to go with Istanbul there. There's no doubt on that next filthy score, is there? I mean, can Lask get 6 goals at United? I seriously doubt it.
No.
So Manx go through there. Wolves, I mean, they've shown some good signs and some bad signs since they've come back.
Mm-hmm.
Olympiacos, has the Greek league been back on?
I think so.
Okay, so Wolves will be at home, so I'll go with Wolves going through on that one. Once again, absolutely fantastic for Wolves to get through there.
Good point about the exceptionist time. It's not on Thursdays. No one can go at you lot for it. I see it's playing on Thursdays, but yeah, I see that the positive is that like everyone's going to basically go all out for it. That's why, in a way, I'm looking forward to the Europa League because like everyone's going to basically go out for the tournament. Like there's all the teams are going to be putting the strongest 11. It might actually be quite competitive. So
I still like I think if Lask throw everything at United, I still don't think they're going to get 6 goals at United. And United are in good and great form at the moment. So I think, the Copenhagen, Istanbul, you could maybe say about that and think, that's going to be a really close game. But once again, from the top to the bottom, I don't think even Bâle. I don't think Frankfurt, even Frankfurt threw everything at Bâle, I think Bâle are, more than capable of hanging on.
Basel.
Basel, yeah. So yeah, and then the bottom one was.
The bottom one, sorry, I'm just going because I was like, there's got to be more teams here. Wolfsburg versus Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah. Rangers, because they were at home already, so I think Leverkusen are fine there. They got to go away to Germany. I think Leverkusen are fine there. The Wolfsburg, I did say Wolfsburg going through, but it looks like they lost 2-1 at home, so it's going to be tough going to Donetsk. But I'll still go with Wolfsburg as a little bit of a shock. Wolfsburg going through, getting away goal, away goal.
I think there's a few more teams that are missing out here. Who am I missing out? No, not these. I couldn't count 16 there. There's 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
That's
So
it.
who's missing?
I
No,
think
it's
that's
random.
it.
2, 4.
No, that is it.
I think that's it. Yeah.
There isn't anybody else. That is it.
I'm only counting 12 teams here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So where are the other 4 teams?
Did they play on another night?
I'll quick look at the tie here. Yeah, see, it's for some reason it's not showing Inter Milan versus.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they're. Sorry about this, guys. I suspect that yes, I understand now why. Yeah, I think what happened is that they was Inter Milan and Getafe, and I think Sevilla and Roma. They were supposed to play their first leg, but they didn't.
And they didn't.
That's when the so that's going to just be it. So that's the other one. I don't know what people want to give their predictions about that.
Seville and who?
Roma.
Sevilla versus Roma, and then Inter Milan versus Getafe.
Okay, so and they haven't even played at all yet.
No, and they will just have a one-off game. So
yeah, wow, that's an unbelievable game. Seville against Roma. That's a great little matchup there. Because Seville have a reputation in this competition because they won it. First team to win it 3 times in a row, I believe. They beat Liverpool to win it the 3rd time a couple of years ago. So that's going to be a great little exchange between those two. I'll go with Roma, I guess. Just I'll go with Roma. Who was the other game again? Sorry.
Inter Milan versus Getafe.
Okay, Inter Milan, Getafe. Yeah, Inter Milan. Inter Milan, yeah, just a short one.
Just because they're running a bit short of time, and obviously there's a lot more Europa League teams. For Tom and KSI specifically, because I don't want to go through, because I think we're going to focus more of that close to the time. Who is I know you're biased, but who would you say are the top 3 teams in terms of their favourites for winning the Europa League? So Tom, give me your 3. Guys, give in the comments, and also KSI who are listening.
Right. So all of the teams that are on the screen now, they're all the teams that's still left in.
Yes.
Can I give 4?
Okay, 4. Okay.
Well, Man United.
Okay.
Inter Milan.
Okay.
Wolves.
Okay.
And Seville.
Okay. KSI, who are your 4 teams that you think are the favourites to win the Europa League?
United, Inter Milan, and Rangers.
What did you say?
Rangers.
Did you say Rangers?
You said Rangers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stevie G. Working his magic.
Okay. Before we so why Rangers? Why Rangers?
I just think they'll make a comeback, and I think they'll show fight and passion, and I think they'll come back against Leverkusen. I have a feeling they will, and I think they'll make the semi-finals before they get knocked out. But I think Rangers have to be a serious contender, but. So many good teams, but I put Rangers there. I think
they're 3-1 down.
They're 3-1 down. The Scottish
and
League hasn't played for quite some time.
And they've got to go to Germany.
Yeah, I just think Gerrard will motivate them in that and get them through it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we'll just quickly do a brief Q&A. Sort of 5 minutes. I've already seen some questions in the comments from Anastasia and stuff, so. We'll quickly just go through. Some of those questions and pick this up for 2 seconds, and then we'll be wrapped up because it's getting late, at least in the UK anyway. So just to read a few comments. Actually, is Sin Sanchez in by Giorgio? Yes, he is. And as it says, now confirmed the season is just like 2016-17 season for all of the Barca fans. Real Madrid winning the league, United will win the Europa, and we all might say what's up in the UCL. Average Joe says Wolves into United are his favourites and possibly Leverkusen. I will put Sevilla over United, not because Sevilla are a better team, but they are the kings of the competition. That's true. They won it 3 times. So just quickly going into the questions. Like I said, get your questions in, guys. Get your questions in. I'm just going back into the chat.
Rashford or Mbappe?
That's not a question. Will Lukaku Sanchez get his revenge if Inter versus United happens at some point?
No.
Nope.
Maguire will just pocket him. And Wan-Bissaka will pocket Sanchez.
Question. Another question. Do you guys agree if PSG chokes against Atalanta? Also, I already that they have exclusive competitive games. I already asked that question. I think there was one. Yeah, another question. To everyone, if Juve versus Barca happens by some chance, which is a better team at the moment, and which team will be the favourite?
Juve.
I'll just. I mean, it would be a great matchup, and I think that I mean, once again, Barca would have lost the La Liga. If it comes to that, it looks like it is going to come to that, and at the end of the day, they wouldn't have. That's the last thing that they have. So it will be a really, really good matchup, and I think Barca would go all out. But it would be really, really tough. Are Barcelona stronger than Juve? I don't know about stronger, but definitely Juve's form's better. So it would be a really tough one to call.
But who would you go for definitively, Sean? If you had to pick one.
Oh, I picked Barca to win the league, and I wasn't right about that. So I'd.
As KSI's reminded you.
yeah, absolutely. I don't think it was me, by the way. I just said
I think it was Elby or somebody.
Yeah, I just thought they were going to win the league. But yeah, So I'll go with Juve then as a bit of a shock if they didn't meet.
Okay, Tom, what did you think?
I'm struggling. Juventus' form is better. Barcelona are going to be on the back burner from losing out in the league. Just based off of form, I'm probably going to say Juventus, but I think it'll be a close game. It's definitely a game I'd pay to watch.
Average Joe says Milan beat Juve 4-2, and that's AC Milan, not Inter Milan.
Well, this is what I mean. I'm not confident.
If you look at it like, I mean, you could bring up the scores, but I was just like saying, in terms of the quality of the team, I would say that Barcelona have a better quality. But if you're just going by form, which is hard to compare because the Italian league versus the Spanish league is obviously different. But
exactly.
So if you're just looking at it in terms of who is more consistent and the game is more on point, I would just say Juve as a shock, just as a shock. So it's still tough to call though,
Anna says Juve only better in defense than Barca. Barca much ahead in goalkeeping, midfield, and attack departments. And Matchday Blogs, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well, buddy. So if for those who know, like I did a preview with him, he's a Southampton fan and he's a Southampton supporter and follows that team religiously and it does a lot of good work. I apologize for not going. I think you invited Link to do a post-match reaction actually. But there was 2 reasons I was doing stuff on this channel, and frankly, I was very, very demotivated. But you guys deserved that draw. You definitely
definitely did.
And I think, to be honest, the change in turnaround from the 9-0 battering to Leicester to where you are now, it looks like both teams have almost changed systems, where Leicester where you were and Southampton where you are in form. So fair play to you, man. Please, guys, for those who are listening, please go and check out his channel. He's a Southampton fan, sound guy, and posts a lot of very, very good content. The videos are amazing as well, much better than mine. Last two questions so I can see, or keep them in, but I think we've got time for maybe two more. Average Joe, which is harder to win, the UCL or the World Cup?
Well,
Champions League says KSI. Tom?
World Cup, because you've got represent your country, and it's not like you represent your team, you represent your country. It's a lot more pressure to it.
World Cup for me, yes. England won it last in '66. We invented football. You know, it's yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna say World Cup because I can't remember the last. I mean, I know Spain defended it. I think back to back. I think World Cups. So I mean, they did defend it back to back, didn't they? Spain. Or was it the Euro? Which one? They won it in 20.
Euros, I think.
So there was the Euros back to back, not the World Cup back to back.
Yeah.
2006 was Italy. 2010, I know, was Spain. 2014 was
Germany.
And then 2018 was no wait.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, so I guess the point I guess I'm trying to make is that like defending the World Cup is quite a challenge. Does that make it a better?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So although a few comments here saying average versus the Champions League is harder to win, but UCL is better football, which I think is true if you look at the standard of the World Cup.
Yeah, true.
So teams are more complete, therefore, in the UCL's average Joe. And then Spain team was made of club players, though it was. And Matchday Vlogs, feels good to be a Saints fan. Thank you, mate. Mate, you're in a much better place than you were, you know, and I hope that Southampton compete in a better situation next season, to be perfectly honest.
I think the problem with Southampton, I think they've got to keep some of the players that they've got there. Got some good quality players there. Ings, Ward, Prowse, I mentioned a few of them when I spoke to Red Devil Weekly. So,
right. And as I see, this is going to be the last question because we're going to have to wrap things up now. Pick a manager between these three: Sarri, Emery, or Valverde.
Do we have to? Like,
maybe I just go in Sarri, just because it's like the lesser of three evils.
Sarri's the least employed still by Juve, so I've got to pick Sarri because he's still got a job. These two don't, from what I'm aware of. So. KSI,
I'd pick Jose Mourinho.
Okay, he's not in that list. He's not in that list. It's Sarri, Emery, or Valverde. So Jose Mourinho is not in that list.
Backed Emery up to the hill earlier on.
Probably.
so I'm reminded of that.
Quickly, because we need to finish this up.
It'd either be Valverde or Sarri, but maybe, probably Sarri because he's employed.
Okay. Oh, Anna says, just answer my... Okay, fine. We'll answer your last question, then we'll definitely wrap up. Okay, this is the last question. Do you guys think that France will be knocked out in the group stage in 2022 World Cup just because of the curse?
What curse?
Yeah.
What case are we on about?
So basically, there's a curse that if you... I think it must have been the last few World Cups, that if you won the World Cup in the following...
because Germany got knocked out in the group stage.
Germany got knocked out, obviously the last one. Then
South Korea.
Italy got knocked out when they won the World Cup in 2006. They got knocked out in the first one in 2010. Yeah. And then France also... when did France? 1998, 2002, I think.
I can't remember.
And I think the previous, I don't know who won it before Germany. Who won the World Cup before Germany? Spain. Yeah,
it was
Spain. In the previous World Cup, they got knocked out in the group stages. Remember, because Chile and Netherlands advanced ahead of them. So there seems
Yeah, they did as well.
there's a lot of World Cups, you know. Ooh, yep.
Can I ask a question? When is the World Cup?
2022.
Yeah.
2 years time.
Who's going to be delayed to 2023?
From what I gather, I've seen they're going to put the competitions back to back. So 2021, 2022, I think it's going to be. It's going to be the thing.
Yeah, right. That's a lot of football.
Yeah.
So
in the summer.
Quick final thoughts based on this in quote curse. Do you think that France will bet not get knocked out in the group stage?
No.
Quick yes or no?
No.
Yeah. Sean?
Well, Mbappe is better than Rashford, so like I think France will be fine.
Why, Sean?
It's too late, isn't it?
I'm going to bank some money on France winning it.
I will have a debate with you about that. I swear,
Sean is doing this on purpose, so I can already tell.
So we'll
That's been brewing.
So we'll catch everybody again next week. No, I'm only doing.
And that's great. That is actually great to end off with. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, guys. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate it. Obviously, we'll be back again Monday. I don't think United are playing on Monday next week. So it should be fairly
Thursday and Saturday.
So it should actually be fairly straightforward for us to basically finish off. But like I said, thanks everyone for watching. Remember, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Please check out Famiccio's channel as well. Sean is on this channel. For those who are watching, I'll put a link in the description.
Thank you, guys.
Please head over to his channel.
Yeah, thank you as well.
And support him as well. And KSI's channel as well. I'll put the links in the description. Have a nice day, everybody. And cheers.
Bye.